Good evening, children. Today we shall learn about different types of combustion and flame. You may have observed not all substances burnt the same way. Some burn slowly, some burn rapidly, isn't it? Some substances burn with flame, while others burn without flame. You must have seen a burning gas stove. After applying the gas lighter, the gas burns rapidly and produces lot of heat. So this kind of combustion is called rapid combustion. There are substances that start burning spontaneously. Like if someone keeps white phosphorus in air, it would catch fire instantly. No need for a matchstick. This kind of combustion which starts spontaneously is called spontaneous combustion. We all love to burst crackers on festivals. Crackers don't burn like candle, kerosene. Instead, when the cracker is ignited, heat, light and sound is produced through certain chemical reaction. Large amount of gas is also produced. Such quick reaction is called explosion. When we light a candle, we get a candle flame. But do we see a flame when charcoal is burning? No. Substances which vaporize during burning give flame. Wax vaporizes during burning, so we get flame. Same is true here for kerosene, petrol, etc. But charcoal doesn't vaporize during burning, so we don't get flame. Look at the flame. It has many colors. Not all the parts of this flame are equally hot. The innermost part, which looks dark, is the least hot part. It is the dark zone. Wax vapor remains mostly unburned here. The external bluish part is the hottest part. Temperature of that part can be as high as 1400 degrees Celsius because the complete combustion of fuel happens here. This is the non-luminous zone. The brightest part of the flame is little cooler than that, around 1200 degrees Celsius, and partial combustion of fuel takes place here, and this is called the luminous zone. Temperature of the flame varies with the fuel type. Also, like butane gas, which we use for cooking, burns with 1970 degrees Celsius. Temperature of octa-acetylene flame, which is used for welding, is about 3500 degrees Celsius. So the temperature depends on the fuel type. So to sum up what we learned today, there are different types of combustion. Rapid combustion. In this case, the substance burns rapidly. For example, on bringing the gas lighter near a gas stove, after turning its knob to on position, the gas burns rapidly and produces lot of heat and light. Spontaneous combustion. The material here suddenly bursts into flame without the application of any apparent, that is spontaneous in nature. For example, burning of phosphorus at room temperature. Explosion. The sudden reaction takes place with evolution of heat, light and sound, and large amount of gas formed. For example, as in the case of burning crackers. Lastly, we learnt about 3 different zones of a flame. Dark zone. It is the innermost part. It looks dark and is the least hot part. Non-luminous zone. It is the external bluish part of the flame and it is the hottest part. Third part is the luminous zone. it is the brightest part of the flame and it is little cooler than the non-luminous part. That's all. So now I was just telling you about the magic which many people do, and we feel that, oh wow, he is able to do it so easily. So brief contact with the flame doesn't burn. Yes, exactly. So if you please do not try this yourself, but in case if you have ever seen somebody doing like this, or if you ever come across somebody doing like this, then you should know what's happening actually. So what they do is they take their fingers and they move their finger very fast through this flame. So actually their fingers move to and fro, passing through the flame. So just imagine doing that, because we see that even with me, slowly bringing a finger near the flame, which we feel so hot. How can somebody actually make his or her finger pass through the flame? Now this becomes possible only when the movement of the finger is done really fast, because in that case the finger is not exposed to the outer hot layer for a long time. So if the skin doesn't get enough time to properly get exposed to the outer hot air, and the inner layers are not that hot, so as a result the person doesn't get hurt. So that's one thing. So, however, when somebody does that, it becomes quite fascinating and impressive to see that the person is passing this finger through a flame and doesn't get burned. So, the main trick behind this is that it needs to be done really fast. If somebody is trying to do it a little slowly, the finger will get burnt because of the exposure to the outer hot layer. And moreover, either he tries to do it from on the lower side of the flame, because lower side would mean that inner layer which are less hot, because the outer layer is very hot as I said. So therefore it is not possible to pass your finger from this portion, because this portion is very hot and also hot. Therefore the finger need to be passed to the bottom of the flame. So the reason behind this is inner layer is less hot and exposure of finger to the outer hot layer is for very short duration. So the duration is so short that no harm is caused to the finger. So let us now talk about the Bunsen burner flame. So still now we spoke about the candle flame. Let's talk about Bunsen burner and little that's, because you must be using it in your laboratory and you can experiment. So you should know a little about Bunsen burner. So this is a laboratory equipment used for heating purposes. It was named after Robert Bunsen, who was a German chemist, and he used it for the first time. So if you look at the structure of a Bunsen burner, the speciality is that it produces a single open gas flame. So just a single flame comes out of it. So, and that is why it is extremely suitable for heating test tubes and those kind of equipments which are generally used in the laboratory. So this burner tube, the tube which you see here, this is the burner tube, which is also called as the barrel. And you see that there is an outlet here which is connected to the gas pipe. So this pipe is nothing but it is connected to the gas source. So the main gas source, from there the pipe is connected, through which the gas comes, and due to the vaporization of that gas we get this thing. So here in this part, somewhere around this part, you have a structure like this which is rotatable. So basically you can rotate this structure over the barrel. So when you rotate this structure, what you can do, by rotating the structure you can alter the temperature of the flame. So this structure is known as column, and this is called the base. It keeps the woods and burners stable, because it is important to keep it stable, so for safety purposes. So now in Bunsen burner there are three types of things. One is safety flame, the other one is blue flame, and the third one is roaring blue flame. Now, safety flame is that flame which is produced at a temperature of around 300 degrees Celsius. So the color of this flame is yellow to orange, and color yellowish orange in color. And this flame is not used actually for heating anything, because the temperature is quite low, so it cannot heat anything. and it only indicates that the Bunsen burner is on. So that is the only purpose of the safety flame. That's why it is called as safety flame, and it cannot heat anything. The next one is the blue flame, and this is the medium flame. You can say it is neither very high nor very low, and so it is a medium flame, and it is the most commonly used flame, and the temperature for this flame is around 500 degrees Celsius. And yes, it can heat objects, and it is mostly commonly used. The third one is the roaring blue flame. Here the temperature goes as high as about 700 degrees Celsius. So here if you look at it, the color here is blue. In fact, for medium flame also it is blue invalid, but for roaring blue flame you can actually see that the entire flame becomes blue in color, and at the center you can even see a blue color triangle. So the flame becomes so intense that you can actually see a triangle. And the center, when the roaring blue flame is coming out of the burner, there it is also accompanied by a noise. So it shows that this is in the roaring blue flame stage. Now, how do you get these three types of flame from the Bunsen burner? So these flames are obtained at different temperatures. So how do we alter the temperature of the burner? As I said, the column can be rotated over the barrel. As you rotate the column, the temperature changes, and looking at the flame, you will be able to understand which flame it is now. If you normally want to use it for heating purpose, it is always safe to use the blue thing, which is the medium thing. Now, other than the coiler, there are also valves which are present at the base of the burner, and these valves are also used for doing these types of adjustment of the flame. So that's how basically Bunsen burner works, and these are the different flames which are seen in a Bunsen burner. So similarly, for different combustible substances, you see different types of flames.